Good morning, welcome back to the vlog, and happy Friday. It's Friday, so that means busy day because tomorrow's Saturday and we've got tons of events to do. Look at my workspace. Complete disaster. But that's how it is when you're working, you have to be creative, and I am too busy to get ready, so this is what we're working with today. I did get dressed, but it's cold, so I cannot get myself to take my robe off. It's supposed to get up to 71 degrees, so hopefully sometime during our video I will be able to remove my robe. But I've got tons of stuff to do, so I'm not going to worry about my hair and my makeup. I don't have time for that today. I made breakfast, I fed the animals, and I'm getting to work, so that's what's important. So today is hustle and grind day, and keeping my hair up is probably the best thing. I do got to get some last minute things painted. So just start staging stuff for tomorrow's deliveries and orders, so when my husband gets home they can load the trailer. And yeah, but we've got tons of fun events to get ready for. I'm excited. It's going to be a fun day, and let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off today by finishing the centerpieces, just so I can have it out of my mind and done with, because it's one of the most important things for an event tomorrow. Balloons are easy, all that kind of painting is easy. I really want to make sure I get these centerpieces right, so I'm going to focus on these right now. I've already placed all the florals inside of each vase, making sure that each vase is not like another. I wanted to make sure everything was different, slightly different, the same kind of colors and themes, of course. So all the flowers are placed, but they have fingerprints, handprints. A few glasses have a lot of water spots because I did a few kind of mock trials for my client and took pictures. I give every client 3 free mock trials. So when I quote them and we agree on the centerpiece, I kind of lay out to them what it's going to look like with some pictures maybe online of some ideas, and kind of go from there. And they approve it, they pay their deposit, and then I give them 3 mock setups so they can tweak. Like, my first one is, here was the proposal was for, here's what I was thinking when I wrote it out and sent you the inspo pics, here's our first round. And they can say, yes, that's perfect, or in this case, the colors were dusty blue and lilac. And so finding the correct dusty blue was a little difficult in the florals, in pearls, and stuff like that. So the mother and I went back and forth a little bit on the colors to make sure we got them correct, and we did. So she had 3 mock setups. I suggested a few changes I thought would be best for the final one. They agreed, so there was no 4th mock setup. That would cost them. You can't keep working for free. So, but they knew what that slight change would be, and they were great with it. So now I'm setting everything to be permanent. I'm going to, there are some little rocks on the bottom of these. I'm not sure how well you can see. Let me pick one. Let's pick one. A little bit of stones. I'm not sure the camera will show that well. White and blue stones on the bottom. And there is going to be a lot of little submersible LEDs in all the vases. So there's going to be 3 size vases on each table. We have a 16-inch round mirror, and the 3 vases will go on that 16-inch round mirror. 1 vase on each table will be one of these, and so it's just the florals with some rocks on the bottom. There will be some submersible LED lights within those rocks before we fill it with water and put the candle in, so that it's not only lit on top with the candle, but it's also shimmering light on the bottom, which will reflect off the round mirror. It's gonna look beautiful. Then we have 2 other sizes. One size will contain floating pearls, and same thing, a light on top for the candle. Of course, the candle will be on top. And another one will be full of Orbeez to match the color theme. And within the entire vase of Orbeez, we will be mixing LEDs, so all the Orbeez will be lighting up. You cannot see the submersible LEDs when they're inside all of the Orbeez, so you can't really identify where the light is coming from. Only thing you can see is that all the Orbeez are illuminating, so it looks really pretty. And then, so those 3 will be on the mirror, and then we're going to lay some white rice lights on top of the mirror. The client originally wanted submersible LEDs also in the floating pearls, but when you do that, you can actually see the LED lights, which I think looks not very good. And so I told them I don't think it looks good to be able to see a floating LED in there. When the other two bases, they're hidden, you can't tell where they are. So we agreed not to put them, after a few pictures, in one vase, but just to make sure they were illuminating enough light, we're going to kind of just lay these rice lights throughout the 3 bases, and we covered the battery pack with a flower to just hide it, to disguise the battery pack. So we will have that thrown kind of weaving in on the vases on the mirror. So I'll show you guys the final setup before we leave our client's venue tomorrow, hopefully. I'm not sure when the other people are going to arrive to set other things up, so I'm not sure how done the venue will be if I get pictures. We did not do the linens for this event, or they were trying to save money. It got really expensive towards the end, as you could imagine, and they decided not to do a balloon garland or marquees, which originally were in the plan, so that was removed. The father was going to make his own marquees, so I know for the girls' pictures, I'm not sure if those same marquees will be brought to the venue that were used for the pictures last month or not, but if you do see marquees, those will not be ours. We just have the table centerpieces, so I will try to show you guys what we can at that venue tomorrow, but I'm going to get started on working on these. Also, I double check everything a million times, so when the rice lights arrived, I started, turned them all on, made sure they worked. But before I pack them and get ready for tomorrow, I'm also gonna make sure they all turn on again, just in case. You never know. I mean, you don't want to show up and you have a lemon or a dud and it stopped working in the middle of an event. That would be horrible. I would advise to always be prepared with like 10% backup. So if you have anything that's running off batteries for your clients, always take them batteries, enough for 10% failure. So whether it's lanterns or candles, or even for our teepee setups, our camping parties, those lights that go in the teepees, we even take 10% extra batteries just in case for some reason one of the teepees goes out. That would look bad. If the customer does not use them, obviously you get them back at pickup, but always be prepared for the what if scenario. At least 10 to 20% backup, just in case, because you just never know. And it looks really good on you to show up with, in case this happens, here's plan B, or in case this happens, this is what you do. So also, if you've worked with these floating beads, if you drop them, they bounce all over the place and you're never gonna get them all back. I have some under the refrigerator, I've got some everywhere, so be careful with these beads. Also, for the submersible LEDs, they last for days. So if you have to go set up an event early in the morning and the event is not till that evening, you don't have to worry about your LED lights going out under the water or anything like that. They will last. But because I'm just so afraid, I guess, of everything, I mean, I've tested them, I've had them sit out in my house for days, they last a very long time. I am going to hold off on inserting any LEDs until we arrive. So everything else will be set and ready. I won't put water in the vases, obviously, until we arrive. And then once I put the water, I will drop in the LEDs. We've got about 400 LED lights that are going to go into all these vases. So it's going to illuminate quite well. But just like the candles won't be lit until right before the event, we are not going to light them unless we're there that long, I'm assuming. But I would think that the mother, right before the event starts, would go around and light the candles that we've placed inside the vases, just so they can last longer. And again, we are taking enough candles for them to be able to replace any that may you just never know. You have a wick that messes up every now and then, you just never know. So we'll take extra candles as well for them. But yeah, so LEDs are gonna go in last. We've got a couple hundred of them around here somewhere.
She didn't love you back. All she did was leave a hole in your chest. You didn't get that job, even though you really gave it your best. And now you're wondering, what's the point Before the dawn, it's always dark. Before the light, there is a tunnel. Before you run, you gotta stumble. Ooh. When you fall in love, but it don't work out. When you've cried at least 100 times. When you feel so stuck, but you can't get out. Just remember, there will come a day when it all works out.
So this venue does allow real candles. They just have to be completely submerged within the vase. Like they can't be on top with the open flame. So you have to make sure we're putting enough Orbeez in there to fill the glass to a pretty level, but also to keep the flame completely submerged within the vase.
You say you're getting
I
old,
think we've got the right level
but what do
to
you
keep it
know
safe.
about what's to come? 'Cause what the future holds,
Just match the rest of
nobody
them and
knows
do
till
around
the
that
race
level.
is all won. So if you're wondering what's the point of anything
And as you can see,
at all?
it just looks really pretty. So there's a little bit of the pretty lavender lilac color. And so we'll put the little LED, submersible LEDs inside there and kind of move it around with a straw so that they get lost in the vase. And it just illuminates tons of color and looks really, really pretty. So that looks really pretty without LEDs. And you just give you an idea of how pretty it will look with LEDs. Okay, so these final vases are the ones that are gonna have the floating pearls. I am actually gonna put water in one of these just to make sure that I have the measurements exactly the way they're supposed to be and we don't put too many Orbeez or too much water at the last minute and then you can't take away at the event. So I'm gonna put one in here to kind of use as my guide so that I know how many Orbeez to put in the vase. Okay, so now I have all white Orbeez, a ton. I actually made more and then just dropped them down the sink. So that was an accident. The little stopper wasn't in place, so let's see if I have to make more. But let me scoot all this over. Again, be very, very careful with your pearls because they bounce all over the place. I really want to stress that because it's super frustrating. I will use just a simple straw to kind of get the Orbeez in place where I want them. And let me grab some water. Okay. So we want enough Orbeez to make it look like the pearls are floating, but not too many that the candle is above the glass. So we need to figure out what that exact spot is going to be. Just a little bit more maybe. Okay. So we've got it a little more than halfway full of Orbeez right now, but they will kind of come up and add in I just had one of these open, now I can't find it. Great. Oh, see? Oh no! There's a hole in it. Let me gather these Orbeez. Okay, thank goodness it was only 3 Orbeez. Exactly what I told you would happen. There seems like there's a hole in the bottom. So I'm just going to throw these randomly into the glass. These are some little ones, some little balls. And then, can you see them? And I'm gonna use my straw just to kind of shove them in there in some random spots. You can have them on the sides, in the middle. I want one of the bigger ones. Oh, I'm gonna drop these again. I want one of the bigger ones that's right in the middle. And the little ones on the side. I'm just gonna put that in there like this. Just add a tiny bit more. Okay, let's hope that's it. So medium size. So I'll have 3 small, 1 large, and then I'll just throw a medium one in there somewhere. And there's really no wrong way to put these in the glass. Once your water's in there, you can kind of maneuver them around where you want them. So that just in case they're too close to each other or you want them down lower, whatever. Okay. So I really hope that should be fine. So let's put the water in and then kind of see. So it's not gonna focus very well just because of all the glare and of the Orbeez, but I've tried. It should start to disappear in the water and we should be able to see the pearls a little bit better. Okay, so perfect. We don't want to go any higher than that. Let's see if I can get it to focus. So all the air bubbles will start to come out, no worries, they'll come out on their own if you see them. I cannot get this to focus, guys. Too much bling around here. Okay. So let me see if I move it to a different spot in the kitchen, if you can see it better. I'm so afraid to drop my vases. Okay, that might be a little bit easier to see. Okay, so now it looks like there's no Orbeez. Obviously, you can see exactly where your pearls are. If you're happy with that, then you can just leave it. I still don't like the focus, but I think that's fine. I'm happy with the pearls in there. I'll make sure I'll put the same amount in each vase, and whatever's left over, I'll probably just distribute evenly to the rest of the vases, and make sure that your candle can be in there without, perfect. Okay, so now I know exactly how high I need to fill all the vases with pearls and Orbeez, and then I can put the water in tomorrow. And I know that it'll all be safe when lit because it's the candle will still be completely encased in the vase. So we're good to go. I'll finish getting these set up. Okay, so I had to make some more Orbeez to finish the rest of those vases, but here's what it's going to look like. These are the rice lights that are wrapped around. I don't have water in this one obviously yet. There's only water in this one because I had to test it. But this is basically what it's going to look like. I'll add water and candles when we get there and light them. And we still will be adding LED submersible lights into these Orbeez, so you won't see them. It'll add a little bit more glare. And then there'll be LED lights in those little stones down there. So when it's dim in the venue, this will all be lit up and just kind of glistening really beautifully. These were my test candles, so that's why those are in there. But yeah, so that's pretty much what that little centerpiece is going to look like. So now I'm going to go ahead and start packing away all of these. Let me turn off this light. I'm going to start packing away all of the vases back into the boxes so I can transport them safely. When I purchased the boxes, I kept them so they still have these little slots to hold the glasses nice and steady. So when we transport them, they're not like clicking against each other. So I'm going to make sure I put them all back in their spots. And when we get there, we will fill them and place the candles inside. Also, before I put them in the box, I'm going to make sure there's no fingerprints or any major spots on them, then put them in the box. And I will also take cleaning rags and Windex with us So when we're placing everything on the table, we don't leave behind any fingerprints or smudges on the mirror or the glass. So before we leave, we'll clean it, make sure everything is nice and perfect. All right, so I've been working all day and didn't even pick up the camera, but we did like a little mock setup for the farm for tomorrow because the wind here today has been so bad, and the way we had the barn standing up, this carport works as like an air tunnel, and it completely fell down and some pieces broke. So we had to fix the barn. So since we fixed it, we wanted to go ahead and put it up and make sure everything worked properly. So this is kind of the setup for tomorrow. Of course, the balloons are not out here, they're inside. Half of them are already blown up. But so yeah, the balloons are gonna go along this side at the party and down over here. And then there's, I don't know if you can see him because he's blending in, but there's a rooster up there. Just the silhouette of a rooster. And she's gonna have some cupcakes on that stand, and then right next to it is gonna be the sweet car with all the stuff on there. And we put her name on there, Valentina's Barnyard. So that's one event. And then we're staging another one over here, just bringing down everything from the inventory room, checking off everything that needs to be at every party, just to make sure we don't miss anything. All the vases and decor are still inside. So I'm gonna go finish balloons and then continue staging to make sure, and going down our list to make sure we don't miss anything. And that'll be our night. So I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow seems like it's gonna be pretty easy, I think, as long as nothing crazy happens. But yeah, this wind is a pain in the butt, guys. I cannot wait for us to get a warehouse. We thought when we moved here this carport would be great, but it's a wind tunnel. Like, it's horrible. Everything falls over, it gets knocked down. It's insane. We need a warehouse bad. The summer is still very windy right here. I guess because we're close to the lake. We're like right on the lake, and then the mosquitoes are so bad. So when you're working out here, you're covered in mosquitoes. In theory, it was gonna be great, but we need a warehouse. We found a couple really close by, but they're not heated or cooled, and I don't like being cold. So we're looking for one that's climate controlled, you know, has AC and heat and all that. So that's the next chapter, but I'm gonna get busy on those balloons.
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart.